Hey everyone. I don't know if you have an AMC theater near you, but they do this thing called Screen Unseen, in which you buy a movie ticket for a film without knowing the title of the movie that you're going to go see. It's a really cheap ticket. I think it was like $5. The only guarantee is that it's a film that hasn't been released in theaters yet. I don't know. I was just looking for something to do, so I decided to give it a try. And out of curiosity, I thought, yeah, why not try Screen Unseen at AMC and see what it's like? Because who doesn't love a good mystery, right? So speaking of mysteries, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it and subscribe for more videos because you never know what films might be getting reviewed next. So I got to the theater and I was pleasantly surprised that the film that was being shown was the new Anthony Hopkins film, One Life. This is the film inspired by Sir Nicholas Winton, a 20-something-year-old Londoner who decided to just volunteer in Czechoslovakia for a week to help with some paperwork at a refugee camp where they were setting things up to help Jews who were fleeing the Nazis back in the pre-World War II months. And so Nicholas went to Czechoslovakia, and while he was there, he saw just the desperate condition of the children and the people in these camps. And winter was coming, and he just knew that there was no way that those kids were going to survive. So he began the process of trying to get those kids back to the UK, seeing what they could do to make that happen. And he enlisted the help of his mother, who was played by Helen Bonham Carter, and some other local volunteers at the camp in Czechoslovakia as well, who were from the UK. So this is basically the story of how, against impossible odds, they set out and achieved their mission of saving hundreds of little kids. So in this case, I think it was 660 some odd little kids saved from the Nazi occupation when they finally did move into Prague and that area of Czechoslovakia. So fair warning, this is one of those tear-jerker movies, so you may want to bring a tissue. If I didn't have a napkin with me, my face would have been a smear of mascara by the end of the film. And that is a testament to this movie. Not that it's a tear-jerker, but that it could elicit such a strong reaction despite the story of World War II already being so well known, and the Holocaust and the Nazi attempt at dominating Europe. I mean, all of that is really well known. So when it comes to doing a story about these historical incidents and situations, it's really hard to like tap into those unknowns to get people to have that strong emotional reaction. And this story definitely did that for me. We also know that more than 6 million Jews were murdered by Nazis during the Holocaust. And those lives, those lost lives are sitting in the back of your mind while you're watching this film and you're watching these kids in desperation, hoping to be saved. And then some of them do get saved. And it just like, it just pulls all of the strings. It just pulls all of the strings inside you that make you feel something. And sometimes it's the small stories like Nicholas Winton's that make history feel real and feel relevant or even tangible for new audiences, giving them this easy entry point into the story. And Anthony Hopkins, he brought this story to life. He is such a compelling actor. the look in his eye, the set of his body, the choice of how to speak and how not to speak. Anthony Hopkins is able to convey so much emotion and information on the screen just from a look. And you just can't help but to care deeply about this elderly retiree and his old scrapbook, because that's how it starts out, is Anthony Hopkins playing Nicholas Winton as an old man, and he's got to clean out his house, and he's got this scrapbook that he doesn't want to throw it away. He doesn't want to just give it away either. He wants it to go to the right person so that these people, these memories, these names, these faces of little children don't get forgotten. And because we care so much about the older man, when the film takes us back in time through flashbacks, and that's a cinematic tool that is really tricky to pull off really well. But when this film takes you back in those flashbacks, we can't help but to care about the younger version of Nicholas Winton, who is played by Johnny Flynn. Now, Johnny Flynn seemed to be, I don't know, channeling Anthony Hopkins to some degree, because there was this almost tangible connection between the younger and older versions of Nicholas Winton in this film that was surprisingly strong, pulling these two stories seamlessly together. And the story of young Nicholas trying to save as many children as he can, and old Nicholas trying to find a home for his scrapbook so that the kids in there wouldn't be forgotten. The story and the acting were terrific, and the cinematography was equally as good. This pre-war period piece just captures the fear and the nerves of a world on the brink of war. And it's a powerful image of war without ever really seeing any images of war on the screen. This is a great example of how off-screen action can be used to generate an audience response. Because the film left that part of the story off screen, the story of the children who didn't make it out of Prague was so much more powerful. The film's quiet intensity is what I really loved most. It captured the life and spirit of Nicholas Winton, who never sought to be known for what he did. He just wanted to help, and he risked everything to do the right thing. But as he himself would say, he didn't do it alone. And some of the people who helped him, some of the people who saved those kids, never made it out of Prague. They didn't survive. And so this is their story as much as his, and as much as those kids. It was a really well-written script. It was a really well-produced film. And the power of this film is the journey. It is the story. Like, we know how it starts and we know how it ends, but it's those pieces in between. So it's also a really great example of spoilers being meaningless. Like, we know what happens in this film, but it's the story of how it transpires and those moments in between that just get you. I mean, they just really get you, the way they just pull together the themes and the lessons of Nicholas's life and blending them with our historical knowledge of the war. It just creates a truly powerful story that will just knock the wind out of you, while also filling you with, with a little bit of joy. I mean, the joy at those kids being saved. And so it's just really, really wonderful in that way. It's kind of the juxtaposition of those two emotions that make this such a powerful film, I highly recommend One Life. It's an important story. It's an important film. I hope that people do go and see it when it comes into the theaters. And I'm really glad that AMC chose One Life for their Screen Unseen program because it was a special experience. My only request of AMC in the future is if you are going to put a story about Jewish children fleeing the Nazis into the theater, you really shouldn't have it right next to the theater that is a Dolby Cinema room and is playing Dune Part 2. I lost count of the times that the theater just rumbled and shook from the sounds of the Harkonnen and Fremen explosions next door. It was really a little bit off-putting, honestly. It really felt almost inappropriate and thoughtless and kept breaking me out of the story that I was so intensely inside of as I was watching it. So, you know, let me just know what you thought of the film. If you saw it, what did you think? Have you seen it yet? What was your response to it? I mean, I was really affected by it. So, and I usually, I go to these things. I cry at commercials. Let's just be honest. I cry at a lot of things. I'm very emotional when I go watch movies. But this one was different. It felt so much different to me. So I'd really love to know what you thought of it as well. If you like this review, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more videos. That's it for now. I look forward to seeing you soon. In the meantime, happy viewing, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye.